Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to be using Spooky Village by Fawn for Marker Monday, number 8, episode 8. I'll be using some Copics as well as my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. I will do my best to show you which marker I am using before I color in everything. So I had stamped out a few of these because I wanted more to make more cards. So I just loaded everything into my Misty and stamped about 4 of them. I have colored this once already because I wanted to get a good idea of the colors that I was using and just get all of the markers out to color them all the same. And I think it turned out really cute color-wise. I'm coloring all the ghosts in with N0, which is still kind of dark for a 0, but I think it ends up lightening a little bit as it dries. So it's kind of good for the ghosts and the clouds. I also forgot to color in the other cloud, which I will do later. For my pumpkins, I'm going to be using YR07, YR16, and YR15. So we've got the little non-carved pumpkin patch there, and then all of the little pumpkins in the scenery. And then there's the extra separate pumpkins. So I took all of the images. I didn't do any bats, but I took all of the images from the set and loaded them into my Misty. I stamped them with the My Favorite Things Extreme Black, which is my new favorite ink. It's working really well, and it's working really well with the Copics as well. So that is good. I colored in the candy corn. When I colored this the first time, I always have to Google the order that candy corn colors are in because I will never ever remember. I'm using the Tan Shades Tri-Blend marker for the trees. These are kind of hard to get 3 colors in, so some of my coloring inside the tree is a little sporadic, but it worked out. And then I used the middle shade for the skin tone on the candy corn kid. And then my Forgotten Cloud. This video is a little bit longer than some other ones. There's a lot to this. I paused for a little bit of it, cutting out all of these with the die cuts. I paused so you don't have to watch that. I wanted to make sure to include all of the coloring because it is Marker Monday after all. I'm working on trying not to overblend this purple blend on the Tri-Blend marker because the lightest color tends to kind of wash it out if you go back over the dark sections too much. It can be a good blend if you don't do that. It is my favorite purple out of the Tri-Blends, and so I'm trying to make sure I use it carefully so it doesn't get that spotty, washed out look that can happen when you take a lighter alcohol marker and go over the darker areas that you've already colored. Sometimes it's hard to do when you don't have a lot of room to work with though. And then I'm just using the lightest purple to make our witch purple. And then I'm just going to kind of mix up the colors of their bags so they don't kind of blend in with each other too much. And then for the earth brown blend, aside from her hair, and I made the little band on her hat green, I'm using this blend on all of the parts that I feel would be wood. I'm going to use the Ice Gray Shades Tri-Blend marker on the roofs. What's the plural of roof? The roofs? Why don't I know that? Anyway, those end up being kind of a dark gray because the night sky is going to be a little bit dark. I'm going to be ink blending that background, so you'll see that. So I'm trying to use all 3 of the colors in the blend for the wood parts of the house, which is like the steps and the base of the house And then I'll use the ice gray shades on the roof as well as the doors, so those can look dark and spooky. And I'm just going to use the lightest, I think the darkest color, to fill in the witch's face and the arm of the ghost. And then ice gray shades for the roof. And it does a pretty good job at not totally kind of blacking out the house that has the web, the cobweb on it, and the spider. You can still see through it by the time you're done, which is what I like about these darker shades in the tri-blends. They're supposedly the darker markers. The ones that are called shades are usually the darker version of the blends, like dark red blend or dark red shades, ice gray blend or ice gray shades. The shades ones don't completely cover up your stamped lines as long as they're stamped in black. So I think that's really good about them. And I mentioned in another video as well, they came out with Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend brush markers. I have a friend on here, Vicky, who bought them, and I was having trouble with the lid and the marker center coming out, and I was frustrated, so I paused to fix it. But she bought them on here, and she showed me kind of a difference in the two. And I think on the darker ones, the darker shade, the darkest shade, like let's say on the dark red blend, the darkest shade of that marker is a little bit darker on the brush markers. They still seem to be pretty good and a much better blend than the original Spectrum Noir markers. So they're very similar to these ones, the tri-blends, but some of the darkest colors on the 3 blend or tri-blend might be a little bit darker. I won't be purchasing those. I just don't need them. I'm sure they would be fun to play with, but I don't need more markers. And so if you do get the tri-blend brush markers, I would love to hear about them. And if you like them, but I don't think I need them. I have too many markers as it is, and I've already gotten rid of a couple sets of alcohol markers, and I have a couple more I haven't decided I might get rid of as well. And then I just used the darkest shade that I'm using right now on the house on the dark red blends to color in the chimneys because it's kind of a brick red. And then for this house, I'm just using the dark red shades, the 3 color blend on the whole house. And I thought that looked pretty cute. Not that many houses are purple or blue like that. I suppose this is kind of like a moonlit navy blue, which there are navy blue houses. There is a purple house that I have seen in a city nearby me. It's kind of atrocious, but I don't know how they got away with painting their house purple. I'm going to use N4 and N3. I probably should have done like N6 to N4, maybe. Made these a little bit darker, but they turned out okay. So I'm going to die cut all of this out. I cut a lot of extra stars to kind of fill the sky. So on my Netherlands dies, I use the largest die cut from this Miss Kate Cuttables Monster Mash Haunted House. I got a pack of these off of Amazon, so I didn't print these. She does a lot of digital prints, but I didn't print them off. I ordered them off Amazon. So I cut my 2 sizes from the Netherlands ones, and then the Trinity stamps, just the stitched hillside. I cut a whole panel out of green, and then I just cut off the hillside. So now I need to blend the sky. I'm going to be using Dusty Concord, Faded Jeans, and Black Soot. I'm going to use the blue and the purple first, and then the edges I'll go over with Black Soot, and I'm using my Tailored Expressions brushes. I have a specific brush for dark blue versus light blue. So that's good. And then a purple brush. So I'm just going to kind of blend these two because I want a purpley blue sky. But I didn't want to do it in patches. I kind of want to blend them together. So this takes me a minute because I need to be able to hold the paper, but go low enough to where the grass covers up the white. And I don't want it to be kind of patchy white in the background. So I want to make sure I cover the whole surface. And I haven't been doing a ton of ink blending. I'm trying to do a lot more. These brushes definitely make it a lot easier than like the foam blending brushes. I mean, if that works for you, and if you have as long as you have a good storage setup where they're within reach, then you should, it should be easy enough for you. I think the brushes, for me, having the brushes with the different colors, makes it a lot easier because I was very bad about keeping the foam blending circles, like each ink pad having their own. I was not very good at that, and I would just waste brand new foam blending circles every time. And so this is a lot better for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and stick down the grass. I'll just run tape runner along that, and we cover up all the white. And then I'm going to splatter some water into the sky and pick that up with a tissue. I just need to figure out how to do it better than I did last time. So I'm spraying it into my hand, like into my palm, and I have my tissues ready to try and get kind of like little splatters. I didn't want to spray it onto the background like I did on one of my last cards, the ghost card. So I'm just trying to get enough in the background. I'm not really even sure what this effect is supposed to look like. Kind of like a cloudy background, or I'm not sure, but I like the way it turned out. And we're going to be adding a lot of stuff on top of it anyway, and a lot of stars in the background. So I am going to lift this up on foam because I want to give it some dimension. I'll stick down the large panel to the card base, and I cut a card base to essentially just fit the largest size here. I think it was 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 was the piece of paper I cut, so it ends up really being a square. And then I want to lift up the scene on foam to give it some dimension. So I'm going to put foam tape all along the back side of it after I stamp out Happy Halloween. And I'm going to use My Favorite Things Extreme Black ink because it has been working so well. And that goes just fine. I'm loving this ink for Copic coloring and just getting a crisp black kind of imprint. My Lawn Fawn Jet Black and my Memento Tuxedo Black have not been behaving lately. I don't know why, but I'm glad I found this ink. And I got several suggestions from people on which ink to use. So I ended up ordering this from Doodlebugs Wah, my go-to online craft store. I will always have my link down below in every video to shop there. If you haven't shopped there before, you can get 15% off your first purchase with my link, and it gives me bonus points. And also, it's free shipping over $30, which is fantastic. If there's anything to get me to shop somewhere, it's give me free shipping without having to spend $100. And more online companies should figure that out. So I kind of preset up a scene, and I'm going to pause. I already paused while I stuck all of it down. This is Marker Monday after all. I didn't want to completely take over this video with trying to build a scene or glue it down. So I gave you a little preview of what I set up, and then I went and glued down all of it. And then I used my picker-upper and my glue to do the stars. I kind of filled the sky with some stars. And then I'm just showing you the white accents here. I flip and turn the card so that I don't run my hand over other white accents that I've already done and smear them, because I do that often. And I'm just kind of filling in whatever looks good to me. So yeah, thank you for watching Marker Monday number 8. I can't believe I am on week 8 of doing a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you are enjoying them. Let me know what you'd like to see more of down below. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.